Welcome to today's Quickcast, Happening in Congress, HUD Funding and Policy Considerations. My name is Linda Couch, and I'm the Vice President for Housing Policy at LeadingAge. Today, I'm going to discuss what was in the final 2017 HUD funding bill and what the White House and Congress are considering for 2018. We'll also review big housing policy changes sought by HUD for next year and talk about how we're raising our voices together to support affordable housing for very low-income seniors. Let's start with how Congress decided to fund housing programs for fiscal year 2017 when it finally completed this bill in the end of April. Thankfully, appropriators largely continued their penchant for renewing existing rental assistance. All of the Section 8 project-based rental assistance, 202 and 811 contracts that come up for renewal in 2017 have received sufficient full funding. And Congress included $10 million in the 202 account for either new 202 construction or for senior preservation rental assistance contracts. These are the first new construction funds for the 202 program since 2011. The HUD Secretary gets to decide whether to use the money for new construction or for senior preservation rental assistance contracts. Two low spots for the 2017 bill are that it did not provide enough money to renew about 60,000 of the nation's 2.1 million vouchers, and it did not include authority to expand HUD's rental assistance demonstration to include Section 202 project rental assistance contracts. On May 23rd, the White House submitted its budget request to Congress for 2018. Of course, Congress decides what funding levels will be, but in such a tight budget environment, many will look closely for President Trump's priorities for HUD. Overall, President Trump's request seeks a $7.2 billion cut to HUD, a cut of 15% compared to 2017. The public housing and voucher accounts are particularly hard hit, as are many others. For the Section 202 account, there is a small increase, but not one large enough to pay for all the 202 project rental assistance contracts that will need renewal funding in 2018. HUD is also seeking some smoke and mirrors authority to transfer $35 million from the 202 to the 811 account, and vice versa. For the Section 8 project-based rental assistance and 811 programs, the account is insufficient for Section 8 by about $700 million and would give 811 renewals 17% less than they received in 2017, while 1,000 new 811 contracts will come up for renewal for the first time in 2018. How? These cuts are paired with rental assistance reforms, a list of starter reforms that the budget calls cost-saving measures. These don't sit well with LeadingAge, and we oppose them. First is a request to increase resident rent contributions to the greater of 30% of adjusted income, the current standard, or 35% of gross income, so no income exclusions for things like medical costs, and to impose a $50 minimum rent for all residents. Second is a request to allow HUD to place a one-year freeze on annual rent adjustment increases, including those made by using an annual adjustment factor, a budget-based rent increase, or an updated market study. Third is a request to eliminate utility reimbursements for residents when tenant-paid utility costs exceed minimum rents. Other requests from the White House to Congress for 2018 include eliminating the HOME, CDBG, National Housing Trust Fund, and Capital Magnet Fund programs. Finally, two other policies of note in President Trump's request: support for expansion of RAD to include PRACs, which LeadingAge strongly supports as well, and a massive decrease for tenant protection vouchers and the value of those tenant protection vouchers, which we don't support. Here's our latest budget chart. This chart looks at the Budget Control Act caps. The backdrop for the cuts that are being considered for 2011 are the for 2017 and 2018 are the Budget Control Act spending caps, which will go down again for fiscal year 18 unless Congress does something to raise them. Because the caps were so low, Congress could not pass its spending bills, and deals were made to raise the caps for fiscal years 14, 15, 16, and 17, but no deal is yet in place for 18. As important as raising the caps is parity. Any increases provided for defense spending must also be provided for non-defense spending. We support maintaining parity, even as President Trump is seeking a $54 billion increase to defense and a $54 billion decrease to non-defense discretionary spending, quite the opposite of parity. As I hope you have gathered, we are fired up to protect the 202 program and other programs that provide affordable housing to low-income seniors. In May, LeadingAge launched a Save HUD 202 campaign, as well as the SaveHUD202.org website. We want to work together to raise our voices to support and expand housing for older adults, and we hope you'll join us. One way you can join us is by participating, either virtually or in person, in our June 27th rally at the U.S. Capitol building to protect and expand these critical programs. Nearly 400,000 seniors are served by the 202 program. Together, all of HUD's programs assist almost 2 million seniors afford safe and decent housing. We hope you'll join us. Thank you for watching today's Quickcast. To learn more, visit SaveHUD202.org and LeadingAge.org. If you have any questions or need more information, please don't hesitate to email me at lcouch@leadingage.org. To see a full listing of our Quickcasts and other distance learning education, go to leadingage.org/distance learning.